Hello, my name is Shane Dukes, and this is my review of the movie Hotel Rwanda starring Don Cheadle. The movie Hotel Rwanda depicts the events of the Rwandan genocide, which occurred in 1994 in Rwanda, a country in Africa. In total, almost 800,000 to 1 million people died in just a short span of 100 days. This quote from the movie, which I found to be very powerful, shows how the United Nations did not consider the lives of many Africans. They did not consider them to be valuable, and they did not consider them to be important enough to intervene and stop the genocide that was occurring. However, in the movie, this quote is very vulgar. I found it appropriate to trim the quote for a school audience. A history of the Rwandan genocide. There were two major ethnic groups in Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis. When Belgium colonized, they favored the Tutsis over the Hutus for the tiniest reasons. The Tutsis they considered to be more elegant. When the Belgians granted Rwanda its independence, ethically motivated violence between the Hutus and the Tutsis continued. In the beginning of the movie, riots are shown where Hutus storm the streets and tensions build. When the president's plane was shot down, the Hutus took it as a signal to begin slaughtering the Tutsis in Rwanda. Here is the demographic of Rwanda at the time. Around 85% were Hutu, a vast majority. Only 14% were Tutsi, and the smallest percent was Twa, at only 1%. The Twa were native to Rwanda but did not have a major role in the genocide. However, the genocide only lasted 100 days. It is estimated to resulted in the death of almost 8,000 to 1 million people. Majority were Tutsi, however there were some moderate Hutus that were killed as well. And when the movie was created in about 2003, the Darfur genocide was also going on. Darfur is a city in Africa, and Arab militias that were armed by the government terrorized, looted, and murdered the people of Darfur. Almost 300,000 people died. It could be assumed that this movie was influenced by the Darfur genocide because it portrays the United Nations' neglect of the Rwandans that were affected by the genocide. This movie could have been intended to persuade the West, or the United Nations, to help the people of Darfur instead of allowing what happened in Rwanda to happen again. The intended audience of the movie Hotel Rwanda is people outside of Rwanda, especially the people of the West, like the Western superpowers. This movie shows people outside Rwanda the horrors of the genocide, and it shows the world how the United Nations did not do what it needed to do to relieve the crisis. Part of the United Nations' job is to prevent genocides just like this, and they did not do their job. The purpose of this film. This film demonstrated how the United Nations did not do its job to bring the crisis to an end. The West was not interested in getting involved to keep the peace because the lives of Africans were not important to them. This movie also portrays a man, Paul Rusesabagina, as a capable, smart, and brave man who is also African American. Paul is an intelligent hotel manager who does all he can to save many of his Tutsi friends and family in his hotel. However, he is a Hutu himself. After the genocide, the United Nations promised that this would happen never again. This movie depicts the UN's failure so that they are held accountable and make sure this does not happen again. The film is told from the point of view of Paul, or another person, inside the genocide of Rwanda. It is portrayed that the United Nations is not doing anything to help the genocide. However, there are officials there. They cannot do anything as shooting back or fighting back against the attackers. In the movie, Paul is shown as a hero. He is brave, and his morals are never questioned. He is not afraid to risk his own life to save that of his family or his friends. He even does his best to try and save people that he may not know, but people that are being persecuted for their ethnicity. Sheltering these people can get him in a lot of trouble and even get him killed. However, he does whatever he can to save these people. This movie is based off a true story. However, in real life, it is possible that Paul was not the man that he was depicted as in the movie. Paul is now rewarded for his heroic acts. However, other people claim that he is not as morally upright as he is shown. People claim that they were kicked out of the hotel, in danger of being killed even, for not keeping up with their bills. He was even accused of providing names of Tutsis to Hutu hate radio. However, these accusations have been left out of the movie because it's more Hollywood to portray Paul as a hero with an impeccable character. 100 days, and almost 1 million lives lost later, the Rwandan genocide came to an end. When the Tutsi-backed Rwandan Patriotic Front took control of the country, the widespread killings by the Hutus came to an end. However, the mass killings have ceased. There is still tension in Rwanda even today. It is important that we hold the United Nations accountable and that they stick to their promise that this will happen never again.